Hey everybody, this is Dave here at Pulp, and today we're going to play for you the 1941 Universal serial, The Green Hornet Strikes Again. So this is the sequel to, what was it, 1939, 1940, somewhere in there they released the Green Hornet serial. So now it's The Green Hornet Strikes Again. Now, we're going to bring back a bunch of the cool actors that we enjoyed from the original Green Hornet serial. So we have Wade Bowteller as Michael Axford, Britt Reed's two-fisted, streetwise old cop. It's his bodyguard. We got Ann Nagel coming back as the feisty and really smart secretary for Britt Reed. And of course, we have Key Luke coming back as Kato. Nobody else could do Kato like Key Luke can. So really, really glad to see him back in the role. Now, what we don't have is we don't have Gordon Jones coming back as the Green Hornet. Instead, we have Warren Hall. Now, last year in 1939 or 1940, somewhere in there, Warren had a really big hit with The Spider's Web. It was the biggest serial of that year. So now Universal taps him and says, we'll come over and do the sequel to The Green Hornet. So he comes over and does The Green Hornet Strikes Again. So this is really, really cool. One of the fun things I think about this serial that I really enjoy is that almost all of the episodes are, standalone stories. They start and they end in the same episode, and then there's this overarching theme, story arc in there about the Green Hornet fighting all these different rackets. But almost like each week, it's almost like, what's the racket of the week? So really cool. I think you guys are going to enjoy this, and it's a really good print. Sit back and enjoy this one with me. Here it is, the 1941 Universal serial, The Green Hornet Strikes Again.
Gloria.
And why aren't you out there in that marvelous surf this morning?
Oh, I haven't read the paper yet. I don't come to life until I've read the paper.
Bother the paper. I thought you were out here on a holiday.
Well, I have to find out what's going on in the world.
That's the penalty of owning the biggest and the best newspaper in the country.
I have a few days left in which to get into a well-known surf.
Then you're definitely taking the clipper back on Friday.
But definitely.
Well, I'm sorry I can't persuade you to take the boat back with Dad and me.
I'd like to, but you know that clipper gets there faster.
Oh, here comes your man Friday.
Oh, Kato with the newspapers.
Well, I'll be running along.
Aloha.
I observe the Sentinel is carrying an extra page of advertising.
I guess Gunnigan's new assistant Harper must know his business.
Mr. Gunnigan knows his business too, Mr. Britt. He is a first-class managing editor.
Oh, sure, I just came from having a talk with poor Gunnigan. That broken leg of his is going to keep him in the hospital for another month.
You know, I've been wondering about that accident. Did he ever tell you how it happened?
Well, it was like this. Gunnigan was going home one night from the office in a taxi, when all of a sudden a big truck... And the first thing Gunnigan knew, he didn't know anything.
I wonder if that really was an accident.
I always thought poor Gunnigan was framed.
And by some of the crooks who object to the Sentinel's campaign against racketeers.
True for you, Casey. With Gunnigan in the hospital and this fella Harper... Is he in there?
No.
With this fella Harper he appointed to take his place running the paper, the racketeers are getting away with murder.
They certainly are, Axford. Now take the lottery racket.
You take it. Sure, I hate to touch it.
Well, if Mr. Reed were here, he'd certainly lose no time in exposing that racket.
Well, why don't Harper do something about it? I don't know.
Well, with due respect for Gunnigan's judgment, I don't trust Harper.
Well, I got to go to the district attorney's office. You know, he's starting an investigation of this racket.
Isn't that a private investigation?
Leave that to me. Sure, I did the DA a lot of favors when I was a cop.
Oh, it's a good thing you got flat feet, man of action, or I'd have bowled you over.
Flat feet, is it? Now, you... Well, sure now, they're better for understanding than a flat head like yours, Mr. Lowry. Joe, you're smart, aren't you?
Cute kid.
You better follow him.
Why, where's he going?
DA's office.
Yeah?
Said the DA was going to expose the lottery racket.
That's for me.
This is Harper reporting.
All right, come in. I sent for you, Harper, because you're falling down on the job.
In what way, Mr. Crogan?
I got you the job on the Sentinel by forging credentials for you from a Paris newspaper.
Well, if I hadn't known Gunnigan from the early days, he'd never have given me the job, despite your credentials.
But the accident I arranged, putting Gunnigan in the hospital, was responsible for him appointing you to his place. You've done very well by the Sentinel, but what have you done for our syndicates?
I'm publishing daily a quarter-page disbursement ad, giving the winning numbers in the syndicate lottery.
Naturally, since I put you in charge of our lottery business.
I have as great an interest in all the syndicate business.
Listen, Harper, you know what your job was. To dispose of Britt Reed and to cripple his paper so that the syndicate could buy it outright.
Well, that takes time.
You've had plenty and you've failed. Now, I'm warning you for the last time. Britt Reed must be disposed of before he leaves Savoy. You may go. Not that way. Use the private elevator.
Boys, I'm proud of you. This is just the kind of thing that Mr. Reed would like to see in his paper.
Boy, was that a scoop. The DA didn't hold back a thing.
Don't forget who did the scooping. Sure, them racketeers will be shaking in their boots when they read that exposure.
What racketeers? What exposure? Well, answer me.
Well, it's a story about the lottery racket that the boys dug up in the DA's office this morning, Mr. Harper.
Lottery racket? What's it about?
Well, I told you.
Sure, it's a scheme by which the racketeers take the pennies away from the poor.
Well, it's just the type of thing that Mr. Reed will crusade against if he were here.
Who assigned you to this story, Axford?
Well, sure, I dug it up myself from the DA.
He's looking for free publicity when he starts making a mountain out of a molehill. Playing for pennies can't hurt anybody.
But we heard the testimony about suicides.
Ridiculous. This story isn't worth the price of putting it in type. Next time you start an investigation, consult me first.
Yes, sir.
For the next few days, I'm assigning you to the cattle company in the northern part of the state.
Is there something up there you want to have investigated?
Yes. Find out if they expect a drought this year, and if so, why.
Well, of all the...
Wait. Wait till Reed gets back.
Something crooked going on here.
And it's up to us to find out what it is.
You know, before we go back to the mainland, we really ought to go to one of those native feasts. What do you call them?
A luau, you mean?
Yes, a luau.
A cablegram just arrived from Miss Case, Mr. Britt.
How do you know it's from Case?
She is the only one who has your address.
Oh, that's right. Case is my right-hand woman. Excuse me. I'll have to answer this. Will you excuse me just a minute?
I have brought cable blank and pencil, Mr. Britt.
Thank you.
The chief says you've got to make a few changes in your staff.
Why?
They're getting too nosy.
Well, I was going to... What do you want? When you found no one in the outer office, why didn't you knock? Cable addressed to Miss Case. I'm taking no chances. This is a job for you, Bourdin.
Leaving here next Friday, China Clipper. Signed Reed.
Reed must never leave Hawaii.
Well, that'd be a nice trip. And a chance to get even with Reed for trying to send me to the chair instead of Kirk for that Sweeney murder.
Clipper leaves here for Hawaii tomorrow morning. That'll get you there in time. We've got to talk this over with the boss. Come on.
There's Reed now. They're coming this way.
I don't know why you can't come back on the boat with us. There's only a few days difference between the boat and the Clipper.
Why don't you persuade your father to go back on the Clipper?
Good evening, Reed.
Oh, good evening, sir.
Hello, Dad.
Well, Gloria, it's time we started. We're going to that luau. Why didn't you come along, Britt?
That's right, Dad. You make him come.
Well, where is it going to take place?
At a native village about halfway between here and Halavia.
I'd like to go. I'll tell you what, I have some work to do. You go on ahead and I'll join you there later.
Grant. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You know where they're having this luau?
Sure. I know everything that happens around here.
What's your plan?
It's a cinch. I'll get my boys. We'll trail Reed's car when he leaves the luau, jump him, and only the sharks off Diamond Head will know what happened.
Sounds easy. Let's get started.
Scott, it's near morning. If I don't get back, I'll miss the Clipper.
And the Clipper waits for no man.
Oh, well, it's been a glorious night. I'm awfully glad I came. Let's go find your father and the rest of the party.
All right.
Reed and his servant are just leaving.
Anybody else with them?
Just the driver.
3 of them, eh?
We can handle them. You drive the car.
Can't dump them off Diamond Head now without being seen.
What'll we do with them then?
Let's take them up to my fishing shack and keep them there till tonight. All right?
Yeah, that's all right. Hurry up, boys.
Throw them in the back room.
You're sure your men can be trusted? Reed recognized me, and it wouldn't be healthy for me if he escaped.
Don't worry. Reed and that Oriental haven't a chance in the world. I'll come back tonight and finish the job.
All right, then. We'll return to my hotel, and I'll pay you off. I'm pulling out in the steamer that leaves this morning.
Mr. Brett, there are 3 guards in that outer room. I heard them say last night that they were going to throw us in the ocean tonight. If we let them. Say, I recognize the fellow that drove the car. He's Bourdin, a crook. Hey, what about that meat cleaver? It suggests something.
clipper if we can make it.
We have missed it.
Well, we still have time to catch the boat.
And to report Bourdin to the police.
I'll bet he's on the clipper. I'll cable the authorities to meet it on its arrival.
Weren't you on deck?
Shut that door.
What's biting you, big boy?
Brucus fell down on the job.
You mean he didn't fix Reed? How do you know?
Reed and his valet on board. That means I'll have to lay low all the way across.
Well, I don't see why. You've got him where you want him. And as soon as it's dark, you
Don't
can...
be a fool. That'd give the ship's officers 4 days for an investigation. Remember, I've got a record.
Well, then what are you going to do?
Lay low, like I told you. Now, the captain's ball takes place the last night of our voyage. There'll be plenty of excitement aboard. I'll be safely ashore before they discover there's a passenger missing.
What's the matter, Gloria?
Nothing serious. I'm just not a very good sailor, I'm afraid. I think I'd better go to my cabin.
All right.
I feel better now. I'll rest for a few moments and join you later.
I'll call you back from my cabin and see if you're feeling all right.
I'm sure I will be. Good night.
Good night. What's the matter, Kato?
Bourdin is on the steamer.
Are you sure?
Yes, Mr. Britt. I saw him on deck and followed him to his cabin. It's room 97 on B deck. Come, I'll show you.
Wait a minute, not so fast. I just can't make it out. He must have known for 4 days that we've been on this boat.
And has made no further attempt on our lives.
Yeah, that's the mystery. Bourdin has a lot of information that I need. I'd give $1,000 right now if I had the Green Hornet outfit.
Thank you, Mr. Britt. I can use that $1,000 very nicely.
What? You mean you have it? Good.
I thought it best not to leave it in your apartment. If your building caught fire, or should someone find it...
Yeah, it would be difficult to explain.
I think so, Mr. Britt.
Now, Kato, Mr. Bourdin is about to tell me for whom he's working, and some other things I want to find out.
I'm sure he will, sir.
You know, he collected a reward of $5 grand from the state when he turned in Kirk for Sweeney's murder, and he knew all the time Kirk was innocent. I'd like to return that money to the state. The mask. Don't follow me too closely. We mustn't be seen together on deck.
Here's the gas gun. And remember, room 97, B deck.
Right. Tonight, the Green Hornet strikes again.
The Green Hornet.
You guessed right, Bourdin. Keep your hands in the clear.
What do you want?
A number of things. But first, why were you in Honolulu?
I was sent to Hawaii to put Reed out of commission.
What have you got against Reed? Who sent you?
Is this a laugh? It was Harper, the guy who's running Reed's newspaper while he's away. He's a big shot in the syndicate. The head of the lottery racket.
The lottery racket, eh? With $1 million a month rake-off.
That's a pretty good guess. Why are you so interested?
That's my business.
And you want to cut in, eh?
I am cutting in, Bourdin, and you're helping me. But first, I want to clear up one matter.
I don't get you.
I'll explain. Sit down at that desk. Now, write down what I dictate. I, the undersigned, confess to the murder of Patrolman Pat Sweeney.
I'm confessing nothing. It wasn't murder. I killed Sweeney in self-defense.
Yet you pinned a charge of murder on Kirk, an innocent man who was sent up for life.
It was Kirk's fault. The cops caught up with me.
And you collected a reward of $5,000 from the state for turning in Kirk.
Fire's been discovered in the hold, sir. It's almost beyond control already.
Fire in the hold?
Yes.
Order all men at their stations. All passengers on deck. Send out an SOS. I'll go to the bridge right away.
letting me go now?
I'm asking the questions. Hand me over your wallet. I'm collecting the Sweeney reward money.
It's all I got, Hornet, about $2,500.
Not so fast, Bodine. Now answer my questions, quick. Who's behind Harper? Who's the head of the syndicate?
I can't tell that. I can't. It means certain death for me.
Answer my question.
I can't. They'll kill me. I can escape the police, but not the syndicate.
Send every available cutter to the aid of the Paradise.
This is Paradise.
Paradise being landed in Pier 21. Contact all hospitals for ambulance service. Send special detail to Pier 21. Sure, that's fine, and thanks very much. I hope you get all right. Suffering snakes, Lowry. Do you see what I'm seeing?
Look, Britt, there's Father. I'll join him.
Britt Reed.
Goodbye, Gloria. I'll see you later.
And thanks.
Reed, my boy, are you all right?
Hello.
Oh, gee.
Hello.
Kato. Sure, it is a sight for sore eyes to be seeing you. Nobody had any idea you were on that ship.
Boy, is this a scoop for the Sun, or is this a scoop? We come down here to get eyewitness stuff and find you on board packing a whole story. I'll dictate it on the way to the office. Phone Miss Case and tell her to hold the presses for an extra.
Okay, Chief. Oh, Britt, how about a little exclusive story for myself while the kid's busy on the phone?
All right. Kato, give him the story.
Oh, but I...
Hello? Yes, Lowry. What's that? Mr. Reed on the Paradise. Well, is he all right? Oh, I'm so glad. And he wants the presses held for an extra. All right, I'll have the men in the composing room stand by. Tell Mr. Reed how delighted we are that he's back and safe.
Get that story in right away, Lowry, and tell him to rush it.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Casey.
Hello. I can't tell you how glad we are to have you back.
I'm certainly glad to be here.
There are a number of things that need your attention, but I suppose you'd like to rest first.
I'll straighten things out. Rest later.
Well, Mr. Reed, it's quite a surprise to see you. We didn't expect you. We had no idea you were on the Paradise.
How's Gunnigan?
He'll be able to leave the hospital in a few weeks.
That's fine. I'm glad to hear that. We need Gunnigan on this paper.
Well, I believe you'll find that my services have been very satisfactory. The advertising has increased considerably.
That's good, if it's the right kind of advertising.
We're safe on that score. I had everything checked by Gunnigan. I consulted him daily.
All right, Mr. Harper. I'll talk with Gunnigan tonight at the hospital. I'll see you in the morning.
Very well, Mr. Reed. I'll see you in the morning. Good night.
Good night.
Read all about it. What's
So Reed's alive and back on the job. Harper has failed again. He insisted on sending Bourdin on a job he should have done himself.
You know, Krogan, I never did trust that guy Harper. I always figured that if he ever slipped up on a European lottery racket, he'd give the syndicate the double cross.
You're right, Tower. It's up to you to take care of Harper.
I understand. And I know exactly where he'll be hiding out. In that old house he inherited from his sister.
Take Ringo with you. He's the best trigger man in town. I leave everything to you. Take the private elevator, and don't miss on this job.
Kato, we have two very important jobs to do tonight.
I understand, Mr. Britt. We will call on Mr. Harper?
Oh, yes. And we'll deliver to the district attorney's home Bourdain's confession that he killed Sweeney and the money he collected for turning in Kirk. Around the corner, but come back and keep your eye on the house. I may need you.
Don't tell her. Don't. It was just an accident. Reed got back to America. It wasn't my fault.
You know the penalty for failure, Harper. I have my orders from the chief.
I have you covered. Reach.
The Green Hornet.
Drop that gun. Drop that gun, I say.
Get Harper.
Not so fast, Harper. Get down from there.
You saved my life, Hornet. Those crooks were going to bump me off.
For what reason?
I found out too much about their rackets.
Especially the lottery racket, which you've been handling for the syndicate.
I had nothing to do with the lottery racket.
This is a confession from Bourdin that he killed Pat Sweeney. And this is part of the reward money he collected for turning in Kirk. I know all about you, Harper. And I'm cutting in on that European lottery racket. And a lot more that your syndicate is handling.
Oh, so that's it. All right, Hornet. What's your proposition?
First, I want you to give me a complete list of all the rackets the syndicate is handling.
Well, they have a tie-up with all the important rackets in the country.
And the lottery racket alone brings in about $1 million a month.
You've come pretty close to it.
Now come clean, Harper. What's the name of the outfit, and who's the head?
Well, I can't tell you that.
Yes, you can. And I'm going to make you.
But don't shoot. I'll tell you. The name of the...
Are you all right?
What happened to the other rat?
I got his gun, but he escaped. Both these men were killed?
Harper was killed by that shot from the window. I used my gas gun on the other. Keep watch outside.
They must have heard the shooting.
Come on, Kato. We're going to the DA's office. We got part of what we came for. The police will do the rest.
Morning, boss. What do you think of my Harper story?
Not so hot. Sit down. Who do the police think killed Harper?
Well, they figured that the Hornet, by bumping off Harper, was getting even with the Sentinel for offering a reward for his capture.
Oh, by the same token, now that I'm back on the job, I suppose the Hornet will be after me, huh?
That's what the district attorney thinks, and so does the police.
By the way, what was your candid opinion of Harper?
Boss, I always thought that Harper had some tie-up with the racketeers.
I'm afraid you're right. I want you to call on a friend of his, a Mr. J.E. Lynch.
Lynch? I know him. He's a lawyer. He called here several times to see Mr. Harper.
Tell him you won all the dope on the European lottery. Also, tell him that Harper was very careless about leaving his memorandum book around where it could be found.
Boss, I'm on my way.
Case? Is Axford there?
No, Mr. Reed.
When he comes in, tell him I want to see him.
Yes? What? He might be bluffing. Give him a cross-examine, find out how much he really knows. Lynch says that Lowry, a Sentinel reporter, is in his office demanding all the dope on the European lotteries.
That's bad.
He says that Britt Reed found a memorandum book containing a lot of information in the desk Harper was using at the Sentinel.
That means that Britt Reed will start an investigation, and when that news hound starts to investigate, he never stops.
I'll stop him.
How?
I'll close all our lottery offices today.
But that'll cut off a lot of revenue.
It's the only way we can stop Reed's investigation. Yes? All right, admit that you were. And tell him that as Harper's attorney, you're closing all the European lottery offices today. Yes. I'd give $100,000 to know just how much information was in that memo book concerning our enterprises.
It might be worth a lot more than that.
Holy crow, have I got a beat. I was over to see my friend, the district attorney, and what do you think happened?
He made you his deputy.
Yes, he did. No. But he told me that at his home.
Plenty of time for that. Sit down. I want some information.
Yes.
Do you know anything about the Colton Ammunition Company?
Do I know? Didn't I lose me 3 months' salary buying a bunch of their worthless stock?
Well, you remember, Mr. Reed. They got a large order for shells from Europe.
Oh, and then they floated a stock issue for money to expand their plant.
Yes, and then a lot of serious accidents happened, and part of the building was destroyed.
And the company went broke. And a lot of poor devils like me lost their shirts.
Did Harper ever mention the Colton plant?
Not in my hearing. But we did carry several half-column want ads for mechanics and machinists for the company that bought Colton's out.
Oh. And that might explain the note in this memo book that Harper was so careless to leave behind.
And what does the note say?
It says, word Colton want ads in manner to attract kind of men we can handle.
By all the saints. Didn't I tell you, Casey, that Harper was tied up with the crooks?
Michael, get your car. You and I are going out to the Colton plant to investigate the new setup.
Sure, it's parked right across the street and raring to go.
I'm here to see Mr. Foley, your superintendent.
Have you an appointment?
Tell him Brick Reed of the Sentinel is here to look over the plant.
Call Foley on the phone.
Is this the main entrance?
This is the only entrance, and no one is allowed to enter but employees. All right, this way.
But Foley, I tell you, we can't allow this Reed to go snooping around the plant asking questions. He knows every ex-convict in the city. He'll recognize some of the workmen.
You think he'll recognize you?
Sure he would.
And keep out of sight.
I certainly will.
Hello? This is Foley. Connect me with Krogan.
Yes? What? Britt Reed?
Yeah, Reed and his bodyguard Axford are here to look over the plant.
I'll let them through the gate. They're waiting in the guard's office.
Well, don't let them go beyond your office. Tell them you have strict orders not to admit anyone to the plant but employees.
This is my chance to dispose of Reed.
It certainly is. Reed's attempt to investigate our Colton plant is further proof that Harper's book furnished him with a complete list of our enterprises.
I'll stop Reed's investigation if it's the last thing I do.
All right, now I tell you something.
Michael. Foley, if you don't let us go through your plant, I'm turning the whole thing over to the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
I've got my orders, and I'm going to enforce them.
Who gives you your orders?
The president of the company, Mr. Colton.
Colton sold out.
He's still president, and besides, you're wasting a lot of my time.
If you don't want to waste more time in the hospital, keep a civil tongue in your head.
Michael.
There they go. Pull out. We'll lay for them at Dead Man's Curve.
Well, just as sure as you're alive, the new setup now controlling the Colton plant is a bunch of saboteurs.
I agree with you there. If I plug them here, their car might go over that cliff. Keep your motor running. Here they come. The police, get going and step on it.
Those murdering devils, I'd like to...
You know, we're lucky to be alive, Michael. Those fellows would have finished us off if the police car hadn't come along chasing those speeders.
Sure, I wish I had me automatic. Them crooks is likely to come after us again.
You're right. Pull out and step on it. We can beat them back to town.
And with half the workmen in our plant ex-convicts, and our storage vaults packed with bomb shells for a foreign government, an FBI investigation wouldn't be any too healthy for us, would it?
I'll say it wouldn't.
All right, now listen. By this time tomorrow, the Colton plant will be just a big hole in the ground.
What do you mean?
For 2 months, I've been selling the Colton plant outright to Mr. Grinson, agent for the foreign government we've been making big shells for.
You mean that Grinson's going to take over the Colton plant?
He thinks he is. Lynch, our attorney, has been handling the deal. He's already been paid $400 grand in cash. Tonight, Grinson makes his final payment, $100 grand. At your house, Foley.
Well, why my house?
It's the most convenient place from which the foreign agent can mysteriously disappear. Tower will take care of that after Lynch receives the final payment.
I'll see to that part of it.
Then our pilot, Tonjes, will bomb the Colton plant from the air. After I remove the guards, of course.
Okay, Krogan.
Well, why destroy the plant?
With this rigid investigation going on, manufacturing large shells for a foreign government is too risky an enterprise even for our syndicate.
Tonight, Kato, the Green Hornet is going to call on Mr. Foley, superintendent of the Colton ammunition plant.
We will go to the Colton plant?
No, we're going to Foley's home. It's 10 miles out on the highway, north of the Red River drawbridge. Tonight, the Green Hornet strikes again.
correct, Mr. Grinston. 100 $1,000 bills.
You have my receipt and bill of sale ready for me, Mr. Lynch?
Here they are, sir, in perfect order.
They're correct. And now, gentlemen, the Colton ammunition plant belongs to my government.
And operations will be carried on as at present?
No. There'll be a drastic change in the personnel. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Mr. Grinston. There's someone leaving.
Shall I follow them?
No. Wait here.
Now, I'll phone Krogan the good news. That'll be his signal to destroy the Colton plant.
Oh, you better use the phone in the hall. I'm expecting a long distance. 100 grand. The final payment of $500,000 on the Colton plant. This syndicate certainly cleaned up big on that deal.
Yeah, considering the very low price we paid Colton for it. And after we put the plant on the skids.
Keep your hands in the clear.
The Green Hornet.
Surprised to see me, eh? I'll take over that 100 grand, and you crooks are going to answer some important questions. Get over. Step on it.
The Hornet's after us. Step on it.
You got a gun, why don't you use it?
It's a good thing we built this car bulletproof.
It sure is. Pull up as close as you can. I've got to give that crook a shot of gas.
got away, but I got the $100,000 in that briefcase.
You're not hurt?
No, not much. I jumped before the car hit the water.
The others?
They're both gone. Hurry and get to the car. We still may have time to capture the man I left gassed at Foley's. You understand, Kato, that this $100,000 is the property of the stockholders of the old Colton company that failed.
Yes, Mr. Britt. Axford was one of those stockholders. He told me the new company that took over the plant were crooks.
That's right. Now, the stockholders mustn't know that the money comes from me.
I'll take good care of that.
No, not that way. You might run into Axford. Take the back door and mail them at the post office.
You sure threw the adjectives in your description of the heiress, Lowry.
There's plenty of blarney in them lines. Maybe he's figuring on marrying the million.
I understand she doesn't like reporters.
Oh, she don't she? Well, who is she to be controlling a big company the government's liable to be dependent on in case of war?
You don't mean she's really going to control it?
She could if she wanted to. She owns 3/4 of the voting stock. She could make herself chairman of the board and run the whole show if she likes.
You're right. And what a swell chance for a villain.
Morning, boss.
Good morning, Reed, my boy.
Good morning.
Good morning. What do you mean, a chance for a villain?
Well, in the present world situation, aluminum is one of the most important products in the manufacture of war materials.
Of course, but I still don't see...
It's this way. Aluminum Products Incorporated controls the aluminum market. Francis Grayson controls aluminum products. Now, if some shrewd, unscrupulous person should get control of Francis Grayson...
Our first step is to find an actress whose stature and features are sufficiently like those of Francis Grayson to pass muster after a clever makeup.
Say, Chief, I know where I can dig up a Jane that's a dead ringer for this Grayson gal, and she's a clever actress.
Who is she?
Her name's Stella Moyer.
Never heard of her.
She's famous for her impersonations. And with a little makeup, she could deceive Miss Grayson's own mother.
Miss Grayson has no mother, nor any other relatives, fortunately for us. Can this Stella Moyer be trusted?
Stella can be absolutely loyal. She's paid enough.
Bring her up tomorrow by the private elevator, blindfolded. Well, anything more?
Yeah, this Britt Reed seems to have a fifth sense in probing into things that we're interested in. This editorial in the Sentinel on the death of Grayson says in part, the Sentinel feels sure stockholders will hesitate to entrust leadership of the highly important aluminum products company to the inexperienced 21-year-old Miss Frances Grayson, who inherited that exalted position from her uncle, Homer Grayson.
Well, you had your order to take care of Reed. Why don't you execute it?
Well, he's pretty well guarded, but waiting for a chance to do a job that wouldn't implicate us.
It's imperative that you act at once.
I guess your hunch about aluminum products was all wrong, boss. As far as I can find out, everything's under control.
All right, Lowry. By the way, when does Miss Grayson arrive?
She sails from London in about 10 days. Why, does it make any difference?
It might. You remember that memo book we got from Harper? There was a mention in it of Homer Grayson. That's her father.
That's interesting. We know that Harper was definitely connected with the crime syndicate.
Here it is. Apparently, it's an order from somebody. It reads, in the event of Homer Grayson's death, consult me before publishing anything about it.
Of all the crooks. Boss, who do you think sent Harper that order?
I'd give a lot to know. Probably the head of the crime syndicate.
They're after the Grayson millions. You want to warn the Grayson company.
I intend doing that at once. I'm going to call on Kenneth North. He's vice president in charge of production out there. He's an old friend of mine. Oh, tell Axford to bring his car around to the front of the building.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Ken.
Oh, glad to see you, Britt.
Glad to see you. Oh, this is Michael Axford, one of my reporters.
How do you do, sir?
Take a chair.
That was a splendid editorial that you wrote about the death of Mr. Grayson. We all appreciate it. What can I do for you?
What's going to be the new setup around here when Miss Grayson returns?
Miss Grayson simply gives proxies to the board of directors.
You hope she will. But by golly, you can't depend on women. I knew one once.
Michael.
Now tell me, Britt, what's on your mind?
Well, as you know...
All right, Stella, you can take off the bandage.
Boy, that's your blindfolding, all right. I ain't seen a thing since I got into that car.
That was the intention, Miss Moyer. And you'll be taken away from here in the same manner. There is a general resemblance to Miss Grayson. But,
Oh, wait till she gets through with her makeup, Chief. All right, Stella, there's a mirror over there. Here's a picture of Miss Grayson. Get busy.
Huh. This'll be easy.
So, Ken, that's the whole story.
I appreciate your interest, Britt. But I'm sure that Miss Grayson will not take any active part in the operation of the company.
I hope not.
Well, if I need help, I'll certainly call in the Sentinel. Goodbye, Mr. Axford.
Goodbye, sir.
So long, Ken.
Bye.
Perfect, hey, Krogan?
Very good, so far as appearances go, but there's much more to it than that.
Miss Grayson, will you please tell this gentleman what you propose to do about Aluminum Products Incorporated?
Well, I shall do nothing about it, really. What does one do about such things? I shall sign some of those, is it proxies you call them?
One of our cultured gentlemen will accompany you to Liverpool. You understand what you're to do?
Leave it to me, big boy. I get in with the Grayson dame on the boat, study her voice and so on, and show her how much we look alike. Then I sell her on the idea of fooling the reporters by swapping places with me when the boat docks.
She's right, Krogan. The Grayson dame dislikes publicity, dislikes reporters. She'll be glad for a chance to trick 'em. Beside that, she's always ready for an adventure that promises a thrill. I got a complete record of Miss Grayson's life and activities. Stella'll be letter perfect in the part by the time she returns.
Very good. And if you succeed, you'll be independently wealthy for life. But if you fail or try to double-cross us, the stage will lose a very charming young actress.
Don't worry. I'm not going to let you down. I won't double-cross you.
Telegram for Miss Grayson. Telegram for Miss Grayson. Miss Grayson. Telegram for Miss Grayson.
I'll take care of Grayson. You find out who's on that stretcher.
Okay, I'll meet you at the taxi stand.
All right. Just a minute, Miss Grayson. I'd like a word about Aluminum Products Company.
Aluminum products? Really? Is that anyone's business except my own? Let me pass, please.
Thanks for stopping, Reed. I got a swell shot.
Who is it, Puddle Duck?
Miss Moria. Just seasickness.
All right, smart guy. We'll take care of her.
Why, the little snip. It's just her high and mighty way of telling the world who she is. Mr. Reed's office. Just a minute, please. Mr. North of Aluminum Products on the phone.
Right. Hello, Ken. Say, you'll have to speak to that new boss of yours. She treated me like a cub reporter on his first assignment.
Yeah, she's treated me worse than that.
Really? What do you mean?
Oh, she's going to take control of the company out of the hands of the board. Signing her proxies over to an attorney named Artisan. Did you ever hear of him?
I've never met him. I know there is such a man. It's G.K. Artisan, isn't it?
That's the man. I hope maybe you had a line on him.
I don't have now, but I will have by morning.
Thanks, Reed. The control of aluminum products must remain in the hands of the board.
I heartily agree with you. Goodbye. Casey.
Yes, Mr. Reed.
Send Lowry and Axford in, please. I want a line on an attorney by the name of George K. Artisan. Do you know him?
He's a big-shot corporation lawyer. Plenty of money, country estate. What's he done?
That's what I want to know. Find out who his connections are, if he's ever been mixed up in a shady deal. In other words, I want the whole dope quick. Did you find out anything about Artisan?
Only that the guy is too perfect. He don't smoke, he don't drink, he don't go to burlesque shows. He belongs to the church and he takes up the collection.
That's the trouble. His halo fits him too tight. Even his legal practice is on the up and up. There's no clue to any connection between him and that Grayson girl.
Well, keep after him.
Yes, sir.
What will you do now, Mr. Britt?
I've got to see Francis Grayson.
But if she won't talk to you...
She won't talk to Britt Reed, but she'll talk to the Green Hornet.
You mean...
Yes, Kato. The Green Hornet goes into action again.
It's good. It's almost perfect. Only you must write more quickly, with more confidence.
Why must I go to that darned old meeting? Why can't Artisan go and take the papers with him already signed? He's a corporation lawyer. He can handle it.
Well, they might question the signature, and if they see you sign the documents, there'll be no question. Now try it again, a little faster.
Cut the motor. Be ready for a quick getaway. We're taking Miss Grayson with us.
Why would you do that?
To keep her from attending an important board meeting of aluminum products tomorrow.
I understand.
That's good enough. Otterson will be here shortly to give you final instructions about the directors' meeting. I wonder who that is. Otterson isn't due.
It's more of those fool reporters, I guess. Butler's got instructions to throw them out.
Show me to Miss Grayson.
What is this, a hold-up?
I have no time to argue.
Oh! There's someone there.
Well, let's find out who it is. Oh, who are you? What do you want?
Green Hornet.
Thanks for the introduction. Now stand over there. I want to talk to Miss Grayson. Miss Grayson, you talked fast. I want to know why you're placing your uncle's millions in Anderson's hands.
I don't see that that's any of your business.
Where there are millions at stake, it's always the business of the Green Hornet. Miss Grayson, you're going with me.
Oh, kidnapping, eh? Grab the phone. Call Otterson. Call the police. Call him.
You killed him!
Not so fast, Miss Grayson. Did you write that?
No, Yes, of course. It's my signature.
So you had to practice your own signature, eh? Why did you do it?
Well, because
Don't lie to me.
He made me do it.
He made you practice the signature of Francis Grayson. And who are you?
I'm Stella Moyer.
Stella Moyer, the actress. Well, spill the rest of it.
So Miss Grayson fell for the trick and agreed to come ashore on a stretcher. There was an ambulance there waiting on the dock.
Where's Miss Grayson now?
She's out at Artison's country home, 10 miles out on Morningdale Road.
And you still don't know the name of the man who employed you?
No, I tell you. I was brought to them blindfolded and taken out the same way. I'd tell you if I knew. But they said they'd kill me if I did. And they will. They will!
Now, take it easy. Take it easy, Miss Maria. Sit down. Going to keep you out of mischief for a while.
Are you all right, sir?
Yes. Well, you have to tie up these men. This one here and the one out in the hall. We'll take that one first. After you've roped them, call the police. Tell them to pick up these people on a charge of conspiracy to defraud the Grayson estate.
Arrest Miss Grayson?
No, that's not Miss Grayson. That's an actress impersonating her. Miss Grayson is a prisoner at the Anderson country home.
Mr. Otterson.
Oh, Stella. What's the meaning of this?
The Green Hornet.
Hornet? What's he doing in this job? I tried to kill him, but he gassed me. I don't know what happened then.
I thought he'd killed Tower and was going to kill me. He found out who I was and forced me to tell him where Francis Grayson is.
We've got to get to my place quick. The Hornet means to kidnap Miss Grayson and hold her for ransom. If Francis Grayson gets out of our hands now, we're all due for a spell in the pen. We've got to get the Hornet. You get out of town and stay hidden. Communicate with Tor as soon as it's safe.
door. Let me out of here. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Open this door.
Quiet. Miss Grayson, you're coming with me.
With you? Who are you? What do you...
Never mind who I am. I've come to take you away from these crooks. How many people are there in the house?
I don't know. 2 men brought me here in an ambulance.
Some guy in there with that doll.
Yeah, you're crazy. You're off the beam.
I'm telling you, I heard him talking.
You sure?
Yeah. That was the Hornet in that car.
And that Grayson girl was with him.
Step on it. They're after us.
There's a house over there. Come on.
There must be somebody here.
Hello? Look out! They cranked up! Well, that looks like the end of the Hornet.
Don't bet on it. He's hard to kill.
Who are you?
I'm known as an outlaw, but I don't want to see the safety of our country jeopardized.
What do you mean?
Those men who were holding you were...
If they've escaped, we'll never find them in this storm. Look, there's a light. They've the expressions in that house. I'll investigate. You stay with the car. Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, your impersonator would have signed away your rights to Aluminum Products Company and possibly endangered the country.
Whoever you are, I owe you my life.
All right, Hornet. You've interfered for the last time.
outlaw, but I don't want to see the safety of our country jeopardized.
What do you mean?
Those men who were holding you were...
If they've escaped, we'll never find them in this storm. Look, there's a light. They've taken refuge in that house. I'll investigate. You stay with the car.
Yeah. Tomorrow morning, your impersonator would have signed away your rights to Aluminum Products Company and possibly endangered the country.
Whoever you are, I owe you my life.
All right, Hornet. You've interfered for the last time.
Are you all right?
How did you get here?
I followed in your car. I found it at the house from which you took the girl.
Good work.
You saved my life. Who are you?
Your life was in no danger. Those men were using you to gain control of the Aluminum Products Company.
So that's why they were holding me.
Yes, and you played right into their hands when you allowed another girl to impersonate you.
I see that now. But tell me, what should I do now?
Your company produces aluminum, a most essential metal. You must allow the control of the company to remain in the present board of directors. They are responsible, patriotic men interested in the welfare of our country.
Why, I never even thought of changing control.
Good. Don't let anyone persuade you to do so.
You can depend on that. Not after what I've gone through.
Another thing, don't tell the press anything that has happened since you returned from Europe.
I certainly shan't.
And forget you ever met me. And now, Miss Grayson, we will take you home.
I'm glad you escaped, but we'll miss Otterson. It doesn't mention the Green Hornet or the Grayson girl. I'd like to know what happened to them. Yes? Put him on. Yes, Oliver, what is it? Oh, she is, eh? All right, you get back here as soon as you can. Salter reports that the Grayson girl is back in her own home.
Taken there, of course, but the Green Hornet who wants a cut in the millions.
It's uncanny the way he senses our plans and disrupts them.
He's outspotted us at every turn.
And there's no excuse for it. We have unlimited resources, a hired army of fighters, and yet single-handed, the Green Hornet is too much for us.
He sure messed up our aluminum products deal.
Not altogether. I'm working on another angle to get control of that company.
What is it?
Striking at them through Home Electric, the company from which they buy their power.
I get it. Without light and power, they're licked.
Send Franks in. Franks has been making an undercover investigation of Home Electric for me.
Hello, Tower.
Hi.
What have you accomplished?
Well, for one thing, I found that the franchise Home Electric has been operating under for years has a trick clause in it.
What is it?
If Home Electric fails to serve power for a period of 24 hours, the franchise is null and void.
24 hours. It shouldn't be difficult to put them out of business for that long.
Then our Triple State Electric Company can take over the franchise.
Right. And after that happens, the service we furnish aluminum products won't do them any good. What else did you find out?
Found a guard at the plant by the name of DeLuca. I know his record and I got plenty on him. He'll do anything we want, and quite reasonably.
Contact DeLuca at once. Locate a reliable man who understands electricity and can handle explosives. We'll close out Home Electric immediately.
I'm telling you, Reed, this trouble they're having at the Home Electric plant is the work of foreign agents.
I think you're right, Michael. We've already published rumors to that effect. What more can we do?
People wake up and realize what's going on all around them.
It'll take more than rumors to wake up people, won't it, Case?
It certainly will. To most people, sabotage is just something they read about in the paper.
And do nothing about until it lands with a wallop. Michael, dig up the facts in the Home Electric case and we'll print them.
Sure, and I've been after trying to dig them up. But this President Marsden of Home Electric is just a big puddin'. Says I to him, put one good Irish cop like myself in your plant, and he'll round up them foreign agents in no time.
Did he offer you the job?
He did not. He ordered me out of his office.
Yes, I know. He called me about it. He's on his way over here now.
Boss, I got the lowdown on that blackout at the Home Electric plant last night.
All right, let's have it.
3 emergency switches were pulled, and the overload burned out 1,000 feet of cable and a whole flock of pole transformers.
I thought those switches were kept locked.
They are, but somebody fouled the lock.
Did the Home Electric people make any statement?
No, not even after I told them that the stockholders were complaining to our paper.
I'm here to see Mr. Reed.
What name, please?
Mr. Marsden.
Yes, Case.
Mr. Marsden is here.
Send him in. Okay, boys.
Hi, Axford.
How'd you do?
I'll show you in.
Thank you.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
What do you think you're doing, Lowry?
Oh, I just want to hear what Marsden had to say about man of action here.
Well, it won't be good.
I'll see here. Mr. Marsden, I judge by our phone conversation that you think the trouble you've been having is sabotage caused by foreign agents.
I certainly do. We're supplying power to many important industries.
Yes, I know. One very important industry, the Aluminum Products Company.
Why do you especially mention that company?
In these days, aluminum is a very important product.
You're right.
Have there been any former attempts at sabotage at your plant?
Yes, several, but none have done any damage until recently.
Have you considered the vulnerability of your big dam up the river?
Why, that's a massive structure and couldn't be damaged except by an enormous amount of explosives. But if the water gates were closed and the motor which controlled them disabled, then the plant would have to close.
So that's the weak spot.
I beg your pardon?
I was just thinking aloud. Thinking of what a prolonged blackout would mean to the essential industries you're serving with power. I'd like to have a look around your plant up at the dam, if I may.
Why, I'd be glad to have you. Then you can satisfy those stockholders who've been complaining to you. You won't print anything about that Watergate control.
Oh, that's off the record.
Good. I'll write you out a pass.
Will you make it for 2, please? I'd like to take one of my reporters with me.
All right.
Know anything about this country, Lowry?
Yeah, I've been over it lots of times. You know, work for the Sentinel, see the world.
Deserted, isn't it?
Yeah, anything could happen around here without attracting attention.
Britt Reed and one of his reporters. Get after him. Hey, Lowry. The car that we just passed a little while ago turned around and is following us.
Yeah, so it is.
You got a gun?
No, have you?
Oh, respectable people don't carry guns.
Yeah, well, right now I'd rather be less respectable and have a faster car. This thing go any faster than this?
I hope so.
Now get in the way, I'll try for the tires.
Evidently those people back there are not so respectable.
Hang on.
Wise guy, that Reed. Dust us out. What'll we do? Keep after him. I can't see a thing. You can stay on the road, can't you? Yeah. Step on it. They're right around that curve. Ah, we've lost it. We might as well turn around.
Are you Milton, the chief guard?
Yes, Mr. Reed. What can I do for you?
I'm interested in seeing the place from which the water gates are controlled.
Take these gentlemen to the gate control house. I'll phone Jenkins to show them around.
This way? Jennings, I'd like to know about the water gate control.
This is the motor that opens and shuts the gate. And this is the control switch.
I see. Well, now, if the gate were closed and the motor disabled, could the gate be opened again?
Not unless the motor was repaired or a new one installed.
What's this big board for?
It's an extra board for emergency use. Carries a full load like the one in the powerhouse below.
Do you think there are enough men around here to guard the place properly?
Sure. All good boys. Besides, we've got an alarm to the police station up the river.
I see. Well, thanks a lot, Jennings.
You're welcome, Mr. Reed.
Come on, Lowry. Get your fingers out of the electricity.
See what you wanted to?
Yes, thank you. Have you hired any more guards lately since you've been having trouble?
No need to. My men are all good guards. Besides, I have more at the upper gate. Oh, boys, meet Mr. Reed of the Central.
Hello.
Glad to meet you, Mr. Reed.
Your face looks familiar. A lot of people tell me that. I guess it's because I got such a funny pan.
His name's DeLuca.
DeLuca? No, I don't remember the name. Well, Milton, you've got things under control here. I'll tell your boss.
Thanks, Mr. Reed.
Much obliged to you. You know, Lowry, I think I've seen that guard DeLuca somewhere before, and under circumstances not to his credit.
Why don't you tell the chief guard?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't want to cause an innocent man to lose his job.
Have Triple State ready to apply for that franchise, Lynch. We're putting Home Electric out of business. That's right. Yes?
It's Tower, Chief, with the man I told you about.
Come in.
Here's the reliable man you wanted who knows how to handle explosives.
You vouch for him?
I sure do. Show the chief your credentials.
14.
That's right. I wasn't burned up in that ship fire as everybody thought.
I wouldn't have known you.
That's why I figured he'd come in handy. The Green Hornet won't know him either.
All I ask is another crack at that guy.
You had your chance on that boat.
He jumped me, but I had him halfway over the deck rail.
What happened?
The last I remember was his gas gun. Then I came to in a hospital on the waterfront.
He got in touch with me last night.
Your recovery is very timely. Get set for tonight. With that guard DeLuca has fixed to let us in, we can't miss.
It's lucky Axford's out tonight. Otherwise, he'd be curious to know why I'm going through his rose gallery.
Yes, sir. Mr. Axford is very fond of asking questions.
Not so fond of some of the answers he gets. My hunch was right. DeLuca does have a criminal record. A string of aliases as long as your arm. Look at this. Larceny, grand and petty. Arson. Here it is. He was mixed up in that tunnel job last year.
He didn't recognize you, Mr. Britt?
No, when we met in the tunnel, I was the Green Hornet. Take that back to Axford's room and get ready to travel.
Travel?
Yes, we've got to get that information to Milton, the chief guard, at once. And Mr. DeLuca is going to have a visit from the Green Hornet. Silence the motor. Turn off the lights. We'll have to trust to luck to stay on the road.
They're shooting. Do you think we are too late?
Probably to warn the chief guard, but not too late to deal with DeLuca.
Light 'em off, boys. Ryan's turning in the alarm.
The alarm wire's been cut. A big hunk taken out. It can't be spliced.
Now's your chance, Mordine. Keep him busy on this side. DeLuca will let me in through the other gate, then I'll take care of the control house. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, check on me.
Right.
Their main attack seems to be the powerhouse. And I'm sure their chief objective is the gate control.
What can we do?
You can get to the telephone and call the nearest police.
But you...
I hope to have my job finished by the time the police arrive.
Our job is to close the water gate, then fix the motor so the gate can't be opened again.
Right. This is the motor. Here's the switch that controls it.
All right, good. All right, start the motor and close the gate.
Hold it.
The Green Hornet.
So you're up to your old tricks, eh, DeLuca? But this time you're not going to get away with it.
Dean ought to be back. You better send Joe to check him.
What are you going to do? What you came here to do. What do you mean? Destroy that motor and cut the city off from power and light. See where that fuse goes? I put your explosives in there.
We gotta get out of here. We'll be blown to bits.
Who sent you here? Whose idea was it?
Step on that fuse. Put it out.
I will when you tell me what I want to know.
Pull out that fuse and I'll tell you.
You'll tell me first.
The Green Hornet. He's got me.
Grab that piece of timber, we'll break the door down. Look at it!
Your friends can't help you now. Tell me who your boss is.
I don't know. I was hired by men I never saw before.
Stop lying.
Hurry up! Break down that door!
See where that fuse goes? I put your explosives in there.
We gotta get out of here. We'll be blown to bits.
Who sent you here? Whose idea was it?
Step on that fuse. Put it out.
I will when you tell me what I want to know.
Look at it! Marty!
Your friends can't help you now. Tell me who your boss is.
I don't know. I was hired by men I never saw before.
Stop lying.
Grab that piece of timber, we'll break the door down.
Hurry up! Break down that door!
smart trick.
Hornet sure pulled a fast one on us. You know, we never connected that fuse with the dynamite after all. Yeah? Where is the Hornet? He's over there. Dead. Electrocuted.
Don't shoot, Hornet.
You're going out of that door ahead of me. If you stop or turn, you'll get it. Go on.
Police! Beat us! The police!
Keep moving.
One of the guards in the control room fought the Green Hornet. DeLuca was knocked out in the struggle, but managed to delay the attackers until they were driven off by the arrival of the police.
The Green Hornet again. Sure, if I could only lay my hands on this Pulp.
Lucky for you, you can't, man of action. Besides, I don't think the Hornet had anything to do with it.
Oh, you don't, eh?
No.
Remember, I wrote that story.
So what?
So I checked the facts, see? And there were half a dozen guards and several cops that saw the Hornet.
Now, listen, Lowry, why would the Green Hornet want to sabotage Home Electric?
Well, one reason might be is that they supply power to the Grayson Aluminum Works and several other places that are very important at the present time to the government.
Well, I still don't believe it. The Green Hornet may be a bandit and a racketeer, but he's not a traitor. Yes. I'll send him right in. Mr. Reed wants you. Why, I don't know.
Did you talk with DeLuca?
No, by the time I got to his room and house, he'd taken a powder.
Didn't you think it was odd that DeLuca disappeared? He's the man of the hour, the fellow who fought the Green Hornet and spoiled all his plans.
Sure, that's just the reason why he scrammed. He knows the Hornet isn't going to forget that.
Maybe you're right. Anyway, that's water over the dam. Look, I've just had a telegram from the Border Patrol. They say they're having trouble with aliens slipping over the line. I want you to take Axford and get me a feature story for the Sunday edition.
Sure, I know. I should have finished the Hornet when he was down, but I thought that electric jolt he got it polished him off, and I...
We'll take care of the Hornet and get control of the Home Electric before we're through. In the meantime, you'll have to keep out of sight. When does the next shipment of rifles go down to the border?
Tomorrow.
Good. Put DeLuca on one of the trucks and get him over the line. Wait. Take Bodine with you at the warehouse and show him how we operate this job.
Hey, slow down, Axford. There's no hurry in getting back to the office with this Border Patrol story. It's for the Sunday edition, and I want to live to read it.
I want to show you what the old crate will do.
Crate is right. Egg crate.
You're getting chicken, are you? Yeah. No, I tell you, I had a supercharger put in, and the next time I see the car of the Green Hornet, I'll chase it up a tree.
Yeah, you do your tree climbing on your own time.
Slippery snake! He's on the wrong side!
Hey, what's the idea in crowding us off the road?
Keep your mouth shut if you want to stay out of jail.
Hey, were you driving that crate, Halfwit?
Control your tongue, me bucko, or I'll make you look worse than he does.
If you'd been on your own side of the road, this would never have happened. Look at those wheel marks there if you want to see who was at fault.
If the man's hurt, I'd take him to a doctor. Hey, Lowry, we better run this mug to the hospital.
What's holding you up? Accident. What's going on here? Go on, clear out of this, nosy, before I bust you.
You and how many more of your mob? What do you got in them bales?
None of your business.
Why?
Hold it, Mike. Hold it. One of your men is hurt. We were going to take him to a doctor.
You're going to get moving in about 1 minute, or you'll need more than a doctor.
Hold it, Mike. Hold it, Mike. Hold it. Okay, tough guy. But if the guy croaks, don't blame us. Come on, Mike.
Oh, let me poke him
Come
so
on,
I can
come
knock
on.
the three of them.
Come on.
Suffering snakes, why didn't you let me pass them?
Didn't you see that gun in his pocket? Another minute, you'd been shot full of holes. Come on, let's go.
Ah, phooey.
Did either one of them get a look at the other side of this bale? Look here.
No, they didn't see it.
And no thanks to you, I got here just in time. What happened?
They sideswiped us. DeLuca fell out when the truck hit the bank.
Take it easy, Axford. Take it easy.
You know, the fella that got hurt looked familiar to me, but I can't place him.
I didn't get a look at him. Hey, pull it over there and stop. I want to take another look at those guys.
I'll take him back into town. Spike can go on with you. Put him in the car. Now get your load back on the truck and beat it.
One of them's going back to town with the guy that's hurt. Let's follow him.
And when we had run the murdering smugglers into their lair, this would-be reporter wouldn't let me go in and drag them out by the scruff of their necks. I tell you, Reed, Lowry's going soft on us.
What makes you think they were smugglers?
Well, they were mighty anxious to keep us from finding out what they were carrying.
Where's the house where they went?
Away out at the end of Fleming Street.
Here's the address.
Let me phone the cops and raid the dump.
Now, wait a minute. Lowry's right. You don't have any evidence against the men. You can't swear out a warrant just because you think they're crooks.
But...
Check on the place in the morning. Find out who the owner is and who the tenant is. That's all for now.
But you... All right. Have you no bringing up your load?
Will you need me any more tonight, Mr. Britt?
No, Kato. There doesn't seem to be anything more the Hornet can do about the home electric power plant raid.
No, sir. Not unless you can locate the missing guard, Viruka.
Reed! Reed!
Yes?
Now, by golly, maybe you'll believe me. Here's a picture of one of them smugglers in me private rogues gallery. That's the fellow that was thrown on his head when we crashed the truck. And will you note that one of his aliases is DeLuca, the name of the guard that disappeared from the home electric power plant.
Well, why didn't Lowry recognize DeLuca? He saw the man at the home electric plant.
Yes, but he didn't see him at the truck accident. The mug was down on his face and Lowry was busy arguing.
Maybe you've got something there, Michael. Take this down to Commissioner Brunson the first thing in the morning and tell him your story. He might make you a detective.
Well, sure, he might do worse for the force. Good night, sir.
Good night.
Is that the man, Mr. Britt?
Yes, that's DeLuca, all right. The Green Hornet has to talk to him before the police get to him. Get my mask and gun, Kato.
Feel a lot better if they hadn't brought me here to your house.
What's the matter with my house?
Nothing. Only they shouldn't have brought me back to town with all those reporters looking for me.
That's right, because you're the hero of the home electric raid. Brave guard defends property.
Lay off the ribbon, will you?
We're getting close, Kato.
Listen, I gotta get out of here, I tell you.
Ah, quit your beefing. There'll be more truckload of guns going over the border.
Yeah, that's the trouble. The chief has enough rifles down there now to equip a whole regiment.
And he'll be wanting all we can ship to him, too.
The Green Hornet!
We meet again, don't we, DeLuca?
What do you want?
I want information. So you're running guns over the border, eh? Who's getting them?
I don't know. They never tell us guys anything.
Who doesn't tell you? Who gives you your orders?
Guy calls himself Tower. I don't know what his real name is.
Where do you get the guns?
Look here, Hornet. What are you looking for, a split?
The Hornet doesn't take a split, he takes over. Now talk fast.
All right. But you gotta give us guys a chance to get clear. The gang would kill us.
I'm waiting.
The rifles are out in a warehouse, 20 miles out on the Winslow Road.
The Winslow Road. You fellas are going to take me out to that warehouse?
Well, you can't go out there. The place is heavily guarded. They'd kill all of us.
That's a chance we have to take. Here, tie his hands behind his back. Make it tight. Now, get the other cord. Come on. Kato. Stop at the first place you can phone the police. Tell them to pick up a man I left in that cottage.
McCroig, what's wrong? Where's DeLuca? The Green Hornet.
He's got DeLuca. They've gone to the warehouse.
We've got to tell Krogan. Come on.
Please. This way.
We should have that stuff out of the warehouse by the end of the week.
Yeah, Tonjes is flying another load of explosives across the border tonight.
Yes? What's that?
Yes, the Green Hornet. He's on his way to the warehouse now with DeLuca, a prisoner. Yeah, we had a narrow escape. Got out of McCoig's house just before the police arrived.
All right, I'll take care of it. Trouble? Plenty. The Hornet's got DeLuca and is on his way to the warehouse. Some way the police are in on it.
Well, the Hornet wouldn't work with the police.
Not directly, but if he could wreck the syndicate's plans with the tip, he'd certainly give it. Tonjes must be in the air by now.
He left the warehouse 20 minutes ago.
He'll have to turn back. That warehouse must be destroyed before the Hornet or the police arrive. Get him on the radio.
Calling CR4. Calling CR4.
Hello? Krogan speaking. We're going to destroy the warehouse. Set the beacon light and get the men out of there.
Calling CR4.
Yes, at once.
Calling
I'm
CR4.
calling Tonjes back.
Calling CR4. Calling CR4.
CR4 answering. Go ahead.
Tonjes, Krogan speaking. We're going to destroy the warehouse. Turn back and drop a bomb on it. The beacon light will be set and the men clear in 10 minutes.
Okay, Chief.
What's that light for?
That's to guide the flyers so they can make a landing. I tell you, we can't go in that warehouse. They'll shoot you down.
You're going ahead of me. They'll know you.
Well, they'd shoot a dozen like me down in order they could kill the Green Hornet.
Get going.
What about the guards? Where are they?
I don't know. There's something wrong. They must be watching us. Let's get away from here while we can.
Hold it, DeLuca. That trick won't work. Get inside.
all these cases contain explosive?
Yeah, there's tons of it. Grenades and shells.
Where does that door lead to?
Well, that leads to the basement. There's nothing down there.
There's one of our planes making a landing now. You better get out of here while you can. He's dropping a bomb!